Finding buried treasure in Bedrock is a royal pain. So today, I'm going to show you a method guaranteed to find a treasure every single time. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, PDF here. And that's right, I'm going to show you a method to find buried treasure in Bedrock every single time, guaranteed, with a couple of caveats. Okay, well, let's pop over to a new world and I'll show you how. Here we are in a brand new world just for this. Still has that new world smell. Before we get started, we're going to need to find an ocean. Oh look, there's one. Well, that was easy. Step 1 complete. Alright, step 2 is now we have to find a ship or one of those drowned structures that they like to congregate around underneath. It'll be a little easier with some potion of night vision, I think. That's better. Hey, look about. Let's see if we have a map. Nope. Okay, so now I just need to look around till I find one, or we find one of those other structures. Give me just a moment. Hey, maybe we'll have better luck with this one. Down we go. Now, you may notice I'm doing this in creative mode. That's just to make this process a bit easier, but this totally works exactly the same in survival. Don't worry. Jackpot. Alrighty, let's get out of this water. Going up. Okay, map acquired. Okay, that's better. Map acquired. Now we're all set. So I'm going to explain this whole method in kind of two parts. First, I'll explain the how it works, and I'll show you. And then I'll explain the why it works, or at least as much as I've figured out. Let's go ahead and put the map in our offhand and make our way to the X. Time lapse. Commence. And time lapse done. So here we are at the X. So first, we want to face south. How do I know this is south? If we look at our marker, it's got the little pointy bit facing down. Down is south. Now, what we're going to want to do is make sure we are right smack dab in the middle. It can be a little hard to see if you put it in your regular hands like this. Sometimes that can make it a little easier to see. As you can see, we are right smack in the middle of the X, and the important thing, we are even with the bottom, with the two arms of the X. That's very important. Now, we are going to want to go straight down. This block here. We dig under here, there'll be a treasure chest. Ta-da! Ooh, some goodies too. We'll just break that, grab all our goodies, and away! Now, I know what you're thinking. PDF, you just got lucky that time. Alrighty. Hey, well, let me go find another map and we'll do this all over again. Let's see here. Ship or... there might be one in here. Many of these drowned structures actually do have treasure chests kind of hidden in them that if you find, sometimes will contain a map. Not a guarantee it'll have a map, but not a guarantee it'll have a treasure chest either. There it is. Fishing rod. Not what we're looking for, but good to know. So make sure you check those out. Lots of good stuff on them. Back to the time lapse. Target acquired. Dive, dive. While we're here, we might as well check the ship. No map. You know what we can do? Let's come back down here for a sec. There we go. Let's use something somewhat newer to Bedrock here and go into spectator mode. Hey, we're close. What do you know? A new treasure map. Let's get out of here and go find our treasure and show that I know what I'm doing. Has happened before. Alrighty. Back this way, over this way. Alright, so let's face south. And scooch over a smidge. And... ta-da! Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking two things. First, I should go below the video and hit that like button since I enjoy this. And I should subscribe, that way he can make more videos. And PDF, you're right about something? It has been known to happen. I know it's scary, but it does happen on occasion. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. So, how exactly does this work? Well, recently I watched a tips video by iJevin, an excellent Java creator that you should totally check out in my opinion. And one of his tips was how to find buried treasure in Java using subchunk coordinates. What the heck are subchunk coordinates? They are something we have absolutely no access to here in Bedrock because we do not have the F3 screen. Hooray! But that got me thinking. So I thought to myself, is there some way we could do something similar here in Bedrock? And there is, actually. Now, I wish I hadn't gotten rid of that map, but since we can't actually, just spawn in. Like, here, let's come here. See, look, treasure maps do not exist in here. So any map you find is just totally up to the world. But I can show you something else. I thought to myself, you know, we don't have sub-chunks and all the other stuff like that, but is there something else we do have? And there is. I'm gonna fill in a little bit of this water really quick just to make my life a little easier for a change. And I use Foxy No Tail's markers pack, in case anybody's wondering. So now what we are gonna do, we are going to mark out the chunk. And I'm putting it just outside the border. I know it's not inside, but everything inside this is going to be a chunk. There's a few things I figured out while I was testing this. First, I took one of my test worlds and I went to chunk base and copied down a bunch of the potential coordinates for buried treasures. While I was doing that, I noticed something. All of the coordinates ended in even numbers. And that struck me as interesting. I said, I should remember that. So I started looking and, you know, digging up a few of them. And then I thought, you know, wait a minute, let me throw the markers pack on. Let me check something. And I discovered something pretty interesting. If we come to the corners here, nope, I need that for a moment. And we make ourselves a nice little X, just like this. Go to that one. I'm not going to need that one. I'll show you why. Do that again. I know this is riveting. Just stick with me. Stick with me. This actually does have a point. So we have our chunk laid out and we have an X. That's where the buried treasure was. In Bedrock, buried treasures will always, and I mean always, minus those caveats, which I will explain in a moment, be located in the center of a chunk. Yes, I know chunks are even numbers, 16 by 16, so there is no definitive center, but these 4 blocks will always be located in the middle of the chunk. This one here is the southeast block. The treasure will always be buried under the southeast block in the center of a chunk. If we notice, look at our X and Z, even, even. The odd, even, odd, odd, even, odd, even, even will always be under this. And I've tested this with many, many worlds, many, many maps. Same thing every single time. Now, there's a couple of caveats I mentioned. Okay. The first one is sometimes Bedrock likes to, you know, be Bedrock, even though it is a very well-coded game and runs totally perfectly. Sometimes the treasure chest just does not spawn in. It happens on rare occasions, but it does happen. Again, this is Bedrock. Bedrock things happen. The other thing, or the other caveat I should say, is remember those drowned structures we were looking at? Well, if there was one really nearby here, the chest may not actually spawn here. It may spawn in that structure. I had that happen where I had one of those structures spawn nearby, so I said, hey, let's go check it out. And there were 2 chests stacked on top of each other. One had the contents of, you know, one of these buried treasure maps in it, and the other had the usual drowned structure stuff in it, fishing rod and other junk. So that can happen. Those are the 2 caveats, though, is that sometimes Bedrock will Bedrock, and sometimes it'll just be nearby in a structure. But otherwise, every single time, it will be under that southeast block, even, even. And that, my peeps, is how you find buried treasure pretty much every single time in Bedrock. I know personally I wish I had figured this out much, much sooner. Would have saved me a lot of trouble, and I probably would have found some treasures I ended up missing. Now, you may have to dig down a bit. I have had to go down, and it can be under stone. That can happen. And if you ever are digging and it doesn't, you could most likely just not be in the correct spot. Either throw up a markers pack and mark out the chunk, and then, you know, do these X's, and then dig down. It'll be there. You may have to dig down a ways. Or you could be very nearby. So start, start digging some of the other even blocks, like this one. Hey, this one. You know, like every other one's going to be even. And it could be under one of those. But the easiest way, yeah, is just use the markers pack, mark out the chunk if you're not sure, XX, boom, right there, southeast block. Want to see more? Check out this video here. Happy treasure hunting, y'all. Arr.